Welcome along to the channel. Tonight we're heading back to the first Saturday of September 2008, one of the most anticipated All Ireland Hurling Finals of the modern era, that being of course Kilkenny versus Waterford. This wasn't just another final. Kilkenny under Brian Cody were chasing a third Liam McCarthy Cup in a row. They'd steamrolled their way through Leinster and the semi-finals, and most people expected them to win, but win easily? That was another question. Waterford, meanwhile, hadn't seen All-Ireland glory since 1959. For almost 50 years, the Deise supporters had been waiting for their day in the sun, and here it was, the chance to topple the Cats and bring Liam back to the shore. John Milan, Dan Shanahan and Ken McGrath, heroes who carried the pride of a county. To understand 2008, you need to look at the years before. Kilkenny had beaten Cork in the 2006 final, then they dominated Limerick in the 2007 All-Ireland final. They weren't just champions, they were feared. Cody had built a team of leaders everywhere on the pitch. Shefflin, the conductor, Eddie Brennan, the poacher, Tommy Walsh and JJ Delaney being the defensive rocks. For Waterford, the road was harder. They had been Munster heavyweights, but heartbreak was constant. Defeat to Cork in 2004. The collapse against Kilkenny in the 2007 semi-final. The scars were there for them. When Davy Fitz took over mid-season in 2008 though, he brought belief. Fitz was looked at with promise, an All-Ireland winner himself with Clare from the goalkeeper position. He was a young, enthusiastic man with confidence in his players. There was uncertainty in Waterford at the time of the appointment, but by September, Davy Fitzgerald had dared the whole country to dream. He begged the question, could Waterford do the impossible? Could they stop the Cats 3 in a row?
Comes in now and again. Kilkenny, the one thing for sure is they can't go on forever. Now, it just so happened that we probably met the most unreal Kilkenny team in the height of their powers. But there's two teams can win the All-Ireland, we're one of them. Kilkenny's the other one. They might be massive favourites, but I've come across that position before and never say never.
Earlier, all the way back in 2007, before the 2008 season even got underway, Kilkenny and Waterford had already crossed paths in a national final. That being, of course, the National Hurling League decider of 2007. That day it was Waterford who came out on top. They beat Kilkenny in a high intensity clash and gave the Deise their first league title in nearly a decade. For Waterford it was massive. It proved to the players and supporters that they could beat Brian Cody's men in a big game. And to make sure no one missed the point, Waterford celebrated loudly. There were interviews where players and pundits alike said it was evidence that the gap was closing, that the great Kilkenny were not invincible. Now, Kilkenny are a proud county, and Brian Cody was a manager who thrived on small margins. Losing that league final the previous year stuck with them. Cody made no secret of the fact that he saw Waterford's celebrations. He heard the talk, but Cody filed it away for later. For Kilkenny it was fuel. It reinforced the one thing Cody had always preached. Never let up, never ease off, never give the opponent the slightest encouragement. So by the time September of 2008 came and the two sides met again in a final, this time in Croke Park for the All-Ireland final, Kilkenny were determined not just to win, but to make a statement. Players like Henry Shefflin, Tommy Walsh and JJ Delaney carried that league defeat in the back of their minds. The plan was simple: no complacency, no half measures and no mercy. Croke Park on September 6th was heaving, more than 82,000 in the stands, the colours of black and amber clashing with blue and white. From throw-in it was ferocious. Kilkenny struck first, rattling off points with ruthless efficiency. Eddie Brennan found the net and suddenly the Cats were 5, 6, no 7 points clear. Waterford tried to hit back, Milan raising a white flag, but it already felt like Kilkenny were operating on a different level. And then came Shefflin. With every free, every darting run, he turned the screw tighter. Richie Power added another goal. By half-time, the contest felt, well, over. Kilkenny led by double digits, and the Deise crowd knew their dream was slipping away. But Waterford, they weren't going down quietly. In the second half, they pushed forward. They managed a goal, the fans erupted, and for a flicker, there was hope. Yet Kilkenny had an answer for everything. Cody's side were relentless, wave after wave of attack. When Shefflin scored again, followed by points from Brennan and Larkin, the gap became unbridgeable. By the time the final whistle blew, the scoreboard told the story. Kilkenny 330, Waterford 113. A margin that stunned even the most loyal Cats supporters. For Kilkenny, it was dynasty in full flow. 3 All-Irelands in a row, and Cody wasn't done yet. This team was redefining what dominance looked like in hurling. For Waterford, it was heartbreak. Players like Milan and Shanahan gave everything, but the mountain was too steep. Some said the occasion got to them. Others argued Kilkenny were simply unstoppable. What's certain is this: the 2008 final is remembered as one of the most ruthless displays in All-Ireland history. The utter ruthlessness shown partly being because of the overconfident celebrations Waterford underwent after their league title the year previous. Kilkenny exploding out of the blocks, hitting goals through Eddie Brennan and Richie Power, and never letting Waterford breathe. They didn't just beat Waterford, they dismantled them. In many ways, the All-Ireland final was the perfect response to the league loss in 2007. It was a reminder of Cody's philosophy. A league win in the spring might mean a celebration, but it's the Liam McCarthy in September that really counts. And Kilkenny were never going to let Waterford believe they had the measure of them again. So that was the summer of 2008. Kilkenny's 3 in a row, Waterford's long wait extended, and a final that showed just how high the bar had been set. For Kilkenny, it was glory. For Waterford, agony. And for hurling, it was another chapter in the story of the game's greatest dynasty. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and tell us your memories of the 2008 final down in the comments. There'll be plenty more history on the way in the coming days and weeks, so do stay tuned to the channel for that. Thanks again, good luck.